yesterday, and we catered for 250 people, but 1,150 people turned up. Now, that might have been because the curry was good.
Yes.
But it's also, I think, an indication that the wind is still in our sails. So we'll see.
What are your expectations for it then?
Well, we have deliberately targeted 12 seats with a view to holding the balance of power, and we're campaigning for a yes vote in the referendum so that we can get a directly elected mayor come November, which we think will be a big breakthrough for the people in Bradford.
Why is Respect not fielding candidates in Birmingham, which was at one stage a stronghold for the party?
Yes, Salma Yaqub, our champion there, has been poorly, and she would have led the campaign.
But she lost her seat, didn't she?
No, she stood down through ill health. She narrowly avoided winning the parliamentary seat twice, and may well stand again if there's a by-election when she's better. But
the party's not going to field any candidates there.
We're not fielding candidates in Birmingham, but we are in Bradford and other parts of the north. And this Bradford spring has started in the north. The sun has risen in the north, and we hope to fan out across the country. We're a very small party with very few resources. Less than £10,000 was our annual income. Labour's was £9.2 million.
We'll be talking about party funding later on.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, all right, well then let's come back to Bradford. As you say, it's starting there, in your words. What are you going to do for Bradford? We heard there from one of the people in the film that it should be about local issues. Which are the local issues you're going to champion?
Well, the Odeon is falling down at the iconic building next to the Alhambra. Many people who visited Bradford will know of it. There's a big hole in the city centre where the Westfield shopping centre was supposed to be, and we're asking what kind of council knocks down its own city centre without any guarantees that the developer will build. Well, heads roll in the first place, whoever signed a contract without penalty clauses so that the authority could be recompensed for the failure to develop. We're proposing to save the Odeon, and we have a campaign to bring public attention to the chronic levels of unemployment in the city.
What is the level of youth unemployment in Bradford?
It has tripled in a year and risen by 40% in 12 weeks.
But what can you do in Parliament to actually change?
Speak about it. And
so you're going to be in Parliament regularly?
Yes, I will be, and I'll be appearing on the media, and the media seem to want me to appear, including your good selves. So the first thing that I've done is draw attention to Bradford's problems, and I will be responsible for projecting solutions to those problems over the weeks and months ahead. Will
you focus on issues like unemployment more in the coming months than things that also appeal to you on the international stage?
Well, I don't think it's either or, you know. One of the reasons I won such a landslide majority was because the other three parties have an ironclad consensus in support of the war in Afghanistan. We said that the war in Afghanistan should end right now and our soldiers brought back before more of them come back in boxes. So these are not issues that are easily separable, but neither would it be right to concentrate on one rather than the other.
What do you make of the situation then in Syria and President Bashar al-Assad? Should he stand down?
Well, there should be a free election in Syria, which is
That's not really possible. I mean, at the moment, when the fighting is going on. Do you support Bashar al-Assad?
The fighting isn't going on.
Well, the truce hasn't held that well. But do you still
Kofi Annan thinks, not only do I not support Bashar al-Assad, I never did support Bashar al-Assad. I support the Syrian people's demands for democratic change, just like I do in Saudi Arabia. Now, you would never ask anybody here if they supported democratic change in Saudi Arabia, and you need to ask yourselves why your researcher prepared that question, rather than say, do I support democracy in Saudi Arabia? It's just a point.
Only because Syria is so much in the news and has been over the past few months.
That's my point. Saudi Arabia isn't in the news, but ought to be. Syria is in the news. I know why, and you know why.
Well, let's ask about Egypt then. Who would you like to see win the forthcoming Egyptian presidential election?
I'm not sure that the name will mean much to your viewers, but Dr. Abdelmonem Fattouh is the best candidate in the race. There have been some important disqualifications in the last couple of days. We'll have to see if they hold. I'm touched that you're interested in my views on the Egyptian presidential
elections. Only because you have talked widely about the Middle East, and at the moment the Middle East is
great. I want to popularise the name of Dr. Fattouh, so thanks for the opportunity to do so.
I mean, in terms of views that are being expressed, I mean, how important were moral or even religious views in terms of your win in Bradford?
Well, moral views are important in politics. The morality of killing people for profit, the morality of stealing from people in the way that the economic system we have does, the morality of having children in mass poverty whilst others frolic in riches. These are important moral questions in politics. But the main reason, frankly, that I got the landslide majority I did is the wholesale rejection of the three cheeks of the same backside that represent the mainstream political parties.
Well, I mean, on one of the moral issues that is coming up and has been talked about, on gay marriage, have you decided how you'll vote on that particular issue?
Is it coming up? I don't know if it's coming up, but I have a long record of supporting equality for gay people, long before others in the mainstream parties did so, and I'm certainly not going to change that stand because I believe in equality. I believe we're all God's children. I believe that our behaviour will be judged by God on the last day and not by men on this day.
All right. I mean, Tanni, listening to George Galloway saying that the main reason he won that election with, you know, a landslide, you could say, is because of the rejection of the three main parties. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think it's getting harder for people. It's fine when you're deeply involved in politics like we are, but I think for people, you know, most people don't feel it touches their lives. And I think it's getting harder and harder for people to see the differences between the parties.
Just one final thing, George Galloway, on tax returns. Would you publish your tax returns? It's the right, now you're an MP, you publish all your tax returns. And do you think everyone, all the politicians should?
Everyone should, yes. That's what happens in the United States. I think it's a good practice. And
they're not obliged to, though, by law in the United States. They just voluntarily do.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
but where does it...
I think the House should voluntarily do that. In any case, I register all my income in the Parliamentary Registry of Interests, much more than I'm forced to do.
So you wouldn't be fined by any scrutiny by your constituents?
Everyone knows what I earn, which can't be said for all MPs.
All right. George Galloway, thank
Thanks.
you.